A palace worth $500 million, yet no one dares to live inside. Behind its towering gates lies a monument to ambition, a fortress wrapped in marble, crowned with gold, and designed to rival the glory of Versailles. It was supposed to be the jewel of modern luxury, a home fit for kings, movie stars, or billionaires. And yet, it stands silent, empty, watching. Every detail screams of power. The chandeliers alone cost more than most homes. The garden stretched like something out of a royal dream. The walls are heavy with secrets, and the fountains have never seen a family gather around them. But here's the question that unsettles everyone who looks at it. Why? Why would the richest of the rich abandon the crown jewel of luxury? What curse hangs over this palace, so great that not even its creator could call it home? This is not just another mansion. This is a story of dreams collapsing into dust, of ambition curdling into tragedy. And as we enter its halls, you'll discover that beauty is often a mask, and behind this one waits a truth that chills to the bone. It all began with a vision, an attempt to recreate the glory of Europe's grand palaces on American soil. Inspired by Versailles, this colossal mansion was designed to be the most extravagant private residence in the United States. Its scale is almost impossible to grasp. More than 90,000 square feet, 14 bedrooms, a ballroom larger than some hotels, and a theater built to rival Broadway. Every corner was crafted not just for living, but for impressing, for outshining, for declaring dominance. The owner spared no expense. Marble imported from Italy, crystal from France, gold leaf traced along ceilings that stretch high above the ground. It was a dream carved out of wealth and power, an attempt to create a legacy that would outlast its maker. But that's where the story twists.
Because a palace this vast, this bold, doesn't come without shadows. For every chandelier that sparkled, rumors began to whisper. For every marble staircase laid, cracks in the dream began to show. And soon, this palace would shift from a triumph of ambition to a monument of downfall. At first, the palace stood as a shining beacon of success. But soon, whispers turned into headlines. Because behind the gold-plated gates was a truth no marble could hide. This palace had grown too big, even for its creator. What was meant to be a home became a burden. Costs spiraled out of control. The dream demanded more money, more time, more sacrifice. Neighbors called it the house that ate its owner. Workers spoke of endless changes to plans, of perfection that could never be reached. Every chandelier hung heavier than its weight in crystal. It hung heavy with the price of obsession. And then came the lawsuits, debts, delays. The very project that was supposed to crown a life's ambition was now dragging it into ruin. The palace became a paradox, too expensive to finish, too vast to sell, too infamous to ignore. And so it stood, nearly complete, yet utterly lifeless, like a stage built for a play that would never be performed. But the true tragedy wasn't the money. It wasn't even the silence of the empty halls. It was the story of the man who built it, and how this palace nearly destroyed him.
The man behind the palace was David Siegel, a billionaire once called the timeshare king. His empire stretched across resorts and luxury properties, a fortune built on selling slices of paradise. But with great fortune came great hunger. Siegel didn't just want wealth. He wanted immortality through stone, glass, and gold. The palace, nicknamed Versailles, was meant to be his crown jewel. Yet life doesn't bow to ambition. As construction soared, the 2008 financial crash struck like lightning. Banks tightened, businesses collapsed, and Siegel's empire shook at its core. Suddenly, the palace that was supposed to prove his power became the very symbol of his fragility. He and his family fought to keep it alive. Cameras captured the chaos in a documentary, The Queen of Versailles. Audiences watched as fortune slipped, staff left, and once flawless dreams cracked under pressure. But here's the haunting truth. Even when money returned, even when Siva regained his footing, the palace never truly recovered. Its name became a curse, an endless reminder that luxury can become a prison. And yet, the story doesn't end with him, because the curse of this palace still lingers, waiting to consume whoever dares to claim it next. Today, the $500 million palace still stands, grand, gleaming, but hollow. From the outside, it is unmatched in scale. Its white facade stretches across the Florida landscape like a monument to a forgotten empire. But step closer, and the silence hits you. Empty driveways, windows that reflect nothing but the sun, vast rooms with chandeliers that have never sparkled above a dinner, a theater that has never premiered a film, bedrooms that have never known a dream. For years, buyers came and went. Billionaires toured its halls, but none dared sign the deed. Why? Because owning this palace isn't just about money. It's about inheriting a legend of failure. To live here is to step into someone else's shadow, a dream too large, too cursed, too impossible to truly enjoy. The locals call it the ghost of Versailles, a place that was supposed to celebrate life, but instead reminds everyone of decay.
And yet, there's a strange magnetism to it, because even abandoned, even rejected, the palace still whispers a dangerous question. What if it could be yours? That question has lured more than one dreamer to its gates, only to leave them haunted. The palace has become more than a building. To some, it feels cursed. One buyer considered transforming it into a museum, another a corporate retreat. A few dreamed of finishing it as a private sanctuary, but every deal collapsed. Either the money vanished or the courage did. Whispers say it's because the palace carries the ghost of its origin story. Built during a time of reckless ambition and financial collapse, it feels soaked in tragedy. Like the marble itself remembers the panic of 2008. Like every wall knows the sound of a family's empire crumbling. Even when real estate agents try to pitch it, the hesitation is there. Buyers stare at its endless corridors, imagining what it means to fill them, to live in a house so vast, so heavy with unfulfilled dreams. The grandeur no longer inspires, it intimidates. This is the paradox of Versailles. The richer you are, the more you understand the burden of owning it. It's not just a home, it's a story that swallows you whole. And yet, even cursed treasures have a strange power, because there is one undeniable truth: nothing like it will ever be built again. Step inside the palace, and you enter a world half finished, half forgotten. The grand staircase curves upward like a promise, but its steps lead to rooms that have never known footsteps. Dust coats marble floors meant to reflect golden chandeliers. Whole wings sit in silence, their drywall bare, their ceilings open to wires that were never connected. The ballroom, large enough to host hundreds, has never heard music. The indoor skating rink was designed to echo with laughter, but it has never seen a single blade glide across it. Even the 30-car garage stands empty, waiting for engines that never arrived. It feels less like a home and more like a stage set, an opulent shell waiting for a story that never came. Visitors often describe the sensation as eerie, walking through vast rooms where luxury was promised, but life never followed. Each corner whispers of what could have been. Each unfinished wall holds a silence that grows heavier the longer you stand inside. And maybe that's why no one stays too long. It's not just empty, it's haunted by absence. For locals driving past its gates, the palace is more than a mansion, it's a warning. During the crash of 2008, families lost homes, jobs, and savings. Yet here stood a $500 million dream, rising higher as everything else collapsed. To many, it became the face of greed, a symbol of what happens when ambition outpaces wisdom. Even today, its massive walls loom like a mirror of America's wealth divide. Some see it as obscene, A single home big enough to house hundreds sitting empty while ordinary people struggle. Others see it as tragic, proof that even billionaires can lose everything when they chase too much too fast. The media branded it the house no one wants. Documentaries, news specials, and YouTube exposés turned it into a global spectacle. And every retelling only deepened the irony. The bigger the palace became, the more it represented failure rather than success. It was built to be a crown jewel, but instead, it became a cautionary tale carved in stone. A palace that reflects not triumph, but hubris. As of August 2025, the palace still sits in limbo. There have been attempts, grand auctions, quiet negotiations, whispered offers from billionaires seeking a trophy, but each time the deal crumbles. The size alone is intimidating. 90,000 square feet is not a home, it's a small city. The upkeep alone costs millions every year. Developers once proposed transforming it into a luxury hotel, a museum, even a private medical retreat. None of it stuck. The sheer scale makes renovations a nightmare, and no investor wants to inherit someone else's unfinished dream. Recently, rumors spread of foreign buyers circling, curious about acquiring America's strangest palace. Yet, time and again, the headlines fade and the gates remain locked. The mansion waits, unsold, unwanted, and unlived in. And here lies the cruel twist. The longer it remains empty, the more its legend grows. It is no longer just a house, it is a myth, a riddle of wealth and ruin. So in 2025, the question remains unanswered. Who, if anyone, will ever call this place home? And so it stands, on the edge of Orlando, wrapped in silence. The fountains never flowed. The grand ballroom never heard music. The private theater never saw its first movie. For all its promise, the $500 million palace remains nothing but a hollow echo of what might have been. Some call it cursed. Others see it as a monument to arrogance. Yet all agree it is unforgettable. Every towering wall whispers the same haunting question. What good is the world's grandest palace if no one will ever live inside it? Perhaps one day, a billionaire will take the risk, pouring more money into this colossal dream. Perhaps it will crumble into decay, reclaimed by time and nature like a modern ruin. Or maybe it will stand forever as America's Versailles of vanity, a stone reminder that even the richest dreams can turn into prisons. For now, the gates remain locked, the halls remain empty, and the palace waits, suspended between legend and oblivion. The only $500 million palace no one wants to live in.